Hi, my name's Sheehan, and today I'd like to talk about a production of Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream I saw at the Shakespeare's Globe in central London last week. And I just felt moved to talk about this. Now, I've been visiting the Globe Theatre in London for over 20 years now, pretty soon after it opened. And it's such a special place. I mean, it's a faithful recreation of what Shakespeare's original Globe might have looked like in the 16th century, 17th century, whatever it was. It's a beautiful looking building. When you go in and watch a play there, there's something magical there, particularly I think when the sun sets, and although you often get aeroplanes flying overhead, I think it's a special place, I think, Shakespeare's Globe. And in my experience, you can describe the productions I've seen in kind of three camps. There's been a few terrific performances there. I remember seeing Mark Rylance as Richard II, Richard III as well, that was great. I saw him in Othello as well with Andre Holland a few years ago. I really enjoyed that. I remember seeing a great King Lear there as well with Kevin McNally. So I've seen some great performances there, where you have that meeting of a stunning venue with fabulous acting, and it just creates that magic. I've seen a lot of the kind of what I describe as middling performances there as well. Kind of fine, but rather forgettable. And I have to say that's probably the majority of them at the Globe, I have to be honest. And I've seen a few stinkers there as well, I'm sad to say. And I have to say this was one of them. Now, one of the reasons why I feel moved to do this video is the fact that there seems to be very little about this production online. It seems, I don't know whether the Globe has realised it's not the best and they've kind of asked people not to publish reviews. I don't know. It's been running since the end of April. So I felt moved to kind of do my own review, if you like, to fill that gap. Another reason why I felt moved to do this is because just before the performance I was having a chat with an American couple who'd come over from California. And they were so excited about seeing a production at the Globe. And, there's almost tears in their eyes, And after watching this, I just felt so embarrassed. I felt so embarrassed to be a Londoner or even a Brit. I just felt like they deserved something a lot better after coming all that way. So a bit about the production itself. Of course, Michelle Terry is the artistic director of the Globe at the moment. She also plays Puck in this production. The director is Ellie Weil. Now the cast, I won't read all of the cast, but and forgive me if I pronounce some of the names wrong. Sam Creera as Lysander, Sarah Finnegan as Aegeus, she plays Snug and Peas Blossom as well, Mariah Gale as Bottom, Vinnie Heaven as Demetrius, and as I said, Michelle Terry as Puck, also Francesca Mills as Hermia. First of all, I'd like to just say some positives, because I do like to bring out the good in everything if I can. And first of all, Michelle Terry as Puck, I mean, she was just fantastic. You can really see how she is just such a great actor, bringing in these kind of twitchy mannerisms, delivering the lines in such a kind of mischievous and playful, charming, slightly sinister way as well. And the makeup for her and the wig, etc., I thought was really, really fantastic. I believe the person responsible for the makeup is Phoebe Brazier. The other thing I think that worked really well in this production is the bit, I think it's in Act 4, where when Puck is leading Lysander and Demetrius through the woods, and they think the other is calling and it's just Puck. So she's kind of deceiving them. And that was done really well. Puck was saying the lines at the same time as Lysander and Demetrius. And I thought that was very well done. So what was wrong with this? Well, a couple of main things really. The first thing, the acting simply wasn't good enough. Now for an institution like the Globe, you'd expect to see something decent. And I understand, of course, you get a lot of footfall with tourists, etc. But this needs to be something which inspires lovers of the theatre, because it's the Globe, you know. And I just came away from this production thinking that some of the acting was more like a glorified school production, to be honest, rather than something you'd pay 50, 60 quid to go and see, 70 quid even, I don't know, whatever the tickets are. I mean, I stood up as a grounding, which is still very good value, but I did feel bad for the people who paid good money for this. Now, having said that, I will provide this caveat. It was, when I saw it, they did have a couple of, I presume, illnesses. So someone had to read the part of Helena, so they were going around with the script, and they did, I guess they did the best they could. But also there was a lady who was reading the part of Theseus and Oberon. And I don't know how much notice she'd had, presumably not very much, but she's walking around with the script, doing the best she could, I guess. But you know, it's the Globe. I mean, it's a big thing, you know. Surely they'd have understudies better prepared, or, you know, whatever. So there was that. So there was the acting was generally quite poor, with the exception, I think, of Michelle Terry as Puck, who was really good, and maybe a couple of others who were okay. Mariah Gale as Bottom, and Francesca Mills as Hermia. But generally the acting was pretty atrocious, to be honest. Some of them didn't project their lines, and there just was just not enough range in kind of facial expressions, inflections, in the intonation of how they delivered the lines. It was all just a bit embarrassing, I felt. And as I said, I felt embarrassed in front of these Americans who came over just to see the Globe. The other criticism I have really of this production, and this is something I've noticed in the Globe, particularly in recent years. Also, I saw the terrible production of Hamlet, I think by the same director, a couple of years ago, is the fact that the play itself doesn't seem to be the priority. It seems that the priority is ensuring that everybody's represented on the stage, which some people might call a kind of, I suppose, politically correct or woke agenda. And of course, it's a laudable aim to have people of all shapes and sizes, all ethnicities, all genders in between, sexualities, able-bodied people, disabled people, whatever it is. It's important for everybody to have the opportunity to act on the greater stages. But when the cast seems to be deliberately picked to tick every box, I think that the quality of the production plummets, because the play isn't coming first. It's an agenda that's coming first. And that's definitely a criticism I could level against this production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. And it just kind of distracts from the play itself. It also confuses the message, it confuses what the play is trying to say, because particularly if you haven't seen A Midsummer Night's Dream before, or you're unfamiliar with it. And and I know a lot of people go to the Globe to see a Shakespeare play for the first time, but it must be. I think you would have been incredibly confused seeing this the night I was there, because the costumes weren't particularly remarkable. You get confused who was supposed to be playing the male parts, who's supposed to be playing the female parts. And it didn't help that a couple of key cast members were indisposed the night I was there. But even so, it doesn't help getting Shakespeare across to people when it seems that the play itself doesn't come first, but ensuring that this kind of agenda of inclusion is the main thing, and the art suffers sadly, and it always will do if the art doesn't come first, whether that's the theatre or anything else. So that's a kind of another criticism I have. It seems that the purpose of putting on this production is not Shakespeare as such, but it's having every kind of person represented on stage, whether they're a good actor or not. And that's the issue I have. So yeah, it was a really bad production of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and there just seems to be an online silence about it, which I find quite interesting. But yeah, there we go. Hopefully, it hasn't put me off going to the Globe. I do love going there. I'll check out the other productions. But yeah, this definitely wasn't a good night at the theatre. And if anyone else has seen it, please let me know what you thought of it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.